Hey everyone, what is up? It is I, Link, coming at you with some Pulsefire Ezreal gameplay, as you can see right here. I'm actually going solo top as Ezreal, and the reason I'm kind of idling here is because I think I was lagging.
All systems charged.
Yeah, this was actually me lagging here. I didn't get in the game until later. Anyway, we have a interesting mid. The Gragas and the Vlad both wanted to go mid. And then down bot we actually have Draven and Darius both going after a Riven. And they do manage to pick her up. I am not sure why this is lagging so much. Oh, because I wasn't in the game. So then we have Darius actually going over there, killing the Riven. And this Ezreal going to kill the Darius, which kind of sucks. Oh, it is really laggy for some reason. I think the Draven... No, he flashes away. Okay. So, let's see. Hopefully mine doesn't lag that much.
Mystic shot armed.
And there's the sound effect of him turning on his Mystic Shot. But you're going to see me going up against... And their jungler coming back. Anyway, you're going to see me laning against someone who may not have gotten the memo about Kale, but we'll leave that be. Also, you don't get the jetpack till level 16, but yet he still uses it in his idle animation. Meh. Okay, so I'm actually at this point. Yeah. Okay, I lagged back. It's weird. Hopefully, the beginning of this replay isn't that messed up.
Minions have spawned.
I said hopefully. Hopefully.
What's the scanners say about their power?
Okay. Now one thing I really find hilarious with this skin is you can like spaz his animations out, so his eye and his eye starts flashing in his chest. It's hilarious if you actually start spamming these all. But at this point, I am going up against a Kale that has no idea how to play Kale. She went complete. Well, she went flat ability power runes, which I don't quite understand why. Okay, I'm gonna speed this up because this is kind of annoying for me at least. I was just kind of waiting for this Kale for someone to show their face.
Time for a true display of
just running through the animations.
Just a sec.
I'm actually a decent Ezreal player. This is my second game as Ezreal at the time. Maybe third. The replay's messing up again. That's weird. Huh. Well, hopefully it does fix itself. As you can see here is the Kale, who has 53 starting ability power. Last I checked, it only gets 15, so that's quite a hefty chunk of ability power. As you'll see early game, I do have like little to no defense, so she can actually go right in there and destroy me. So I'm actually should have actually checked the bush, or not checked the bush. Should have tried following her. Now she's gonna go in here and not hit me with any basics yet. I do stay out of her range. But one thing I find funny with Ezreal is his defense is. I mean, look at Orion over here. Orion has 11 base defense. His is 16. There's no real difference. He's a glass cannon of a champion. So right now I'm gonna get slowed. She's gonna hit me 2 basics with her fire, with her E on. I think it's her E. Yeah, it's her E. With her E on, and she's gonna just destroy me. Turning on Essence Flux so I can actually shoot over minions. I normally don't get Essence Flux because most other champions I'm going to go against don't hide behind minions, but she can. So I picked this up for early harassing, along with stopping her from using her basic attacks if we ever get in a team fight. Now the reason I'm keeping the camera up here this time is because I'm just showing a little bit of how I play. Arcane Shift now being unlocked, we are going to pretty much have some fun with this Kale. Now at the time of recording this, they did fix a couple bugs with him. One bug that in particular that I still see is his Q misses like right there. That literally, I clicked right straight toward her and it still missed. I don't even know why I flashed there, but the animation misses a lot, and it's not the skill shots issue. I mean, I have tested this with one of my friends. It's kind of interesting. forcing her back to get her hit by a turret. Trundle taking mid. Actually, should I cover the lanes? I think I'll cover the lanes. Gragas. Well, there's that. Gragas and Vlad mid against Orianna. Their jungle is Trundle. Their top is this really low Kale, which I could whittle down. Then they have an AD and a Riven versus a Darius, a Draven, those two, and then me at top. Now, this Kale obviously never really understood the concept behind how Ezreal works. She got really cocky at bad times. Also, I do remember someone getting very angry, so that's kinda, yeah. So I'm gonna slow her down and land 2 nice attacks on her. My mana's gonna be low. But that's one thing I do. Since the way I build Ezreal, I keep clarity on me at all times, because it gives them a false sense of, I might be able to take this person. But I do pop it a little bit early, because they do run back into the bushes. Now the reason I'm keeping this all slow through laning phase is because there's a couple things that I do as Ezreal, just to make him more of a threat. The way I play Ezreal is he actually is a solo lane, so he doesn't take the role of the AD carry. He has no real sustain, but he has a lot of damage. So she's already rather low, while I'm sitting over here with quite a bit of defense. Health and defense. My defense is actually scaling up rapidly. I can't remember if Orianna's faster. Now, what level is she? I wish I could see what level she was. A little replay, come on. Whatever. I'm guessing. Oh, I have this. Yeah, level 5. Her defense hasn't moved. So I'm gonna go in here after this Kale. I'm gonna hit her with quite a few attacks, force her to waste her flash for no good reason. Because, I mean, I could have hit her with my Q, but I decided not to. Just trying to harass her back into her base, so that, well, I could have reign over the lane. Just now seeing Trundle appear in the portrait in the mid, I decided to be a little more aggressive.
True Shot Barrage charged.
True Shot Barrage now being charged. My skin actually does, well, the skin actually does change. So I'm going to flash in here, launch my ulti point blank, just because. That Kale... Leaving the grid. That Kale was only level 5, so she could not ulti, hence the reason I point blanked. Now, when I build Ezreal, I build him very tanky early game. Now, the reason I build him as so is because, well, he's very squishy, hence the low defense. I buy normally 2 Dorans and an Amplifying Tome. Now, the reason I'm buying the Amplifying Tome is because it scales really well. Pretty much 9.5, I think, on Barrage. 7.5 or 0.75 on Arcane, and I think it's 0.7 on Essence Flux. I'm not quite sure, but they are rather high ratios, along with on this 0.05 or 0.5. No, yeah, 0.5. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, had to do the math again. So, this Kale being really aggressive for no good reason, she's actually going to lose more health than I am because I do have health pots and she does not. She didn't go back and buy any, which is quite interesting. She does have a heal, so that's that. Now I'm going to purposely play around with this Kale right now just to try and lower her just a little bit. My ulti is already back up, and for some reason she just wants to get me out of lane really bad and keeps putting herself in bad positions. I'm going to waste my ulti, go after her, get her nice and low. Waiting for my cooldowns now. My cooldown on Clarity is now up, so I'm actually going to wait until she comes out and actually tries attacking me. I do waste it right now because I am going in for the kill, using my flash to gain some ground, missing both the attacks, but I'm going to hit her with my Q, flash in, and hit her with a basic, gain a kill, and not even take a turret shot. Spam some health potions just in case the jungler was here, and go back to happy farming. Now, as you've seen, the Draven got another kill down bot, but I didn't even notice this throughout the game. The other team's Ezreal was being fed so much. It was ridiculous. I think he was at 11 kills when I first fought him. it takes them quite a bit of time to actually drop me. I'm going to return now.
Returning to base.
Returning to base. And I'm going to return now, get some more health, and more pots. Mid getting ganked by the Trundle. Nothing special, it's just Gragas overextending. Also, bot is overextending at this time, but they can. Because they've got OP Champ 1, and, well, he's not OP, he's just very hard to lane against. So I'm going to actually keep levels on this Kayle, because I keep her out of her lane a lot, and I think she does rage quit by the end of the game. I'm not quite sure if she does or not. Although she is going in to try and do some damage, I'm going to deter her with my Q. Every time I can, I am going to pick at her, just trying to keep her health down. Turret does take a shot at her. Although we do have Trundle going in yet again, not doing much as the Gragas does belly rush toward his tower. Now this Orianna plays really well. She used her orb. What? Okay, that's quite interesting. Maybe it's a low replay function, I don't know. She used her ball a lot to zone, which is what you're supposed to do. But she is actually quite a decent Orianna player. It's really hard to see nowadays. So I'm actually going against this Kayle. Going to flash over after I land my Essence Flux so that her attack speed is lowered, pick her up with some basics, and then start popping health potions because I don't know where that Trundle is. Now, having her killed 3 times, I do have dominance over the lane. As you can see, I am the highest level, most kills, not the highest CS, just a little bit under Gragas, but it's hard to out CS Gragas. Trust me, I've tried. Even a Morgana has issues because he can still hurt her.
An ally has been slain.
That's another returning sound effect. Now, bot lane getting completely destroyed by the duo down here. But this Ezreal taking turret shots for no real reason. But the Gragas is coming down to see if he can actually help with a gank. Yes. Activating Happy Hour, or I think that's what that's called. Of course, Happy Hour is passive, I can't remember. So we have Riven already running away, and this Ezreal getting cocky. Well, out comes the Gragas, forcing her to flash, and they both do get away. That was a failed gank. Or even, well, the only thing it accomplished was it pushed them back. Well, besides that, I am now back top with my 3 kills, and I am going to harass the crap out of this Kayle because she really can't do much, and I am always going to have more damage than her. The reason I keep whittling her down, though, when I do go against her, is because I know that I can't win on a fair 1v1. I have to have a little bit of an edge, even being this fed. Because Ezreal, at this point of the game, he's weak. Most AD carries are. So I do try to whittle her down, and she doesn't build any defenses, which is quite interesting. It doesn't even bother to pick up any health pots.
Systems upgraded.
The health does actually, or not the health, but what was I going to say? Well, she doesn't get any health pots besides that. The suit just upgraded yet again when I reached level 11. Now it looks about 2 times better. My favorite version has to be, well, the last version, but he does kind of look like Isaac from can't put my finger on it. What game? Dead Space. Speaking of Dead Space 3, looks amazing. Draven picking up a double kill. No, sorry, that's Ezreal picking up a double kill on the Execution family, or whatever you want to call it. Trundle coming in with a fail gank. I do use my arcane shift to get away, and now this Kayle is going to play a little bit aggressive. Now she does keep healing herself quite a bit with her shield, her Righteous Fury. She does keep up at all times to try and keep me away. I'm going to ult through that just to get through a couple minions and do some damage. I do have the upper hand on her. I have more mana than she does, you just can't see it yet. But she's going to keep wasting her mana to heal herself, which is going to be kind of her downfall, because during fights she doesn't spam her abilities as much. So I know she's in there, I'm going to keep checking. And one thing that you can do, even if it doesn't look like this gets destroyed, your Rising Spell Force does pop up. I'm going to check to see if Trundle's still waiting, but he's actually ganking mid. Yet again, hard to gank a Gragas, because he's got his belly rush, along with his ultimate, so yeah. So now this Kale's thinking that I'm low on mana. I'm going to lure her back to my turret, let her take a turret hit, and I think I used my clarity right around now. Or not. Huh, those are the same. Okay. Pretty soon I use my clarity. I'm not sure when. Maybe when my ult comes back up. Now I do have levels on her, and I pretty much own this lane. I'm just letting her farm in it. And my ult does come up in a matter of seconds, and I think this is when I go for my kill. Landing my Q yet again. One thing I really love about his Q is once you get that to level 5, you just spam it, and you just keep getting cooldown on your True Shot Barrage. Right here, I just wanted to alter. But I do play very aggressively right here, actually taking the top part of the lane so that she is locked in between my turret and her own turret. So I'm going to throw in that, or throw in my W, throw in my Q, just to get her scared, and I'm going to go back to farming. Although in bot lane we do have a nice team fight going on. We have the Ezreal activating, or not activating Ghost, he was getting a buff from that, from Orianna's W. But if you can see his build, he has pretty much the same build as me, except a little bit more advanced. I do have level 2 boots. I didn't see if he did or not. Let's check. No, he does not. So I do have level 2 boots on him, but besides that, we have the exact same build. Now, he's going AD Ezreal, which, it's AD Ezreal. It's what you expect. Stand there and let your basic attacks do all the work for you. That does work for doing a lot of damage to a single target, and it also does work for a short period of time. But what that also doesn't do is it doesn't give you extra damage on things you need, such as, say the person you're laning against, like the build I do build, the hybrid, is for solo top. Because, oh look, they built AD, they built a Wriggles. Okay, so I'll buy my Tome. Oh look, they built Merc Treads, and they don't have a Wriggles. Okay, I'll bring some Dorans in. This build pretty much shuts down anyone. I mean, yes, it really isn't that effective, but it also makes these 3 skills even more effective, because of their high ratios. I mean, still sitting at 20 points, and each one's getting over 15, well, over 15 still. Everyone's getting over 15, so it scales very well. Now there is a team fight going on here in mid. We have Vladimir shutting down the Ezreal, and Gragas ulti killing the Trundle, and Draven pulling the Orianna close and giving her a Q. Now I keep going after this Kayle. I don't really want to kill her because I'm too happy CSing all of this to keep myself on the top. Highest level, most CS, highest kills. Keep myself a very viable threat. They do take a mid turret, as I am really contemplating going after this Kayle. Gonna keep whittling her down with my Q, just to do as much damage as possible, as long as I can. But she is going to rage quit soon. I'm gonna speed this up, because it is just me pushing lane. Now Draven does come up. I do use the W's passive on him while he's pushing turret, and I keep farming. What W does if I use it on a enemy, well, actually if I use it on an enemy it lowers their attack speed. But there's going to have a 3-man gank come up. I'm going to launch my ulti. There's going to actually be a 4th person there, and now I'm going to be sitting up at my turret for a few seconds while the Gragas and the Vlad come in to come help me. I do activate my clarity early to get a little bit extra mana. I'm going to start spamming my skills through. Now another good reason that hybrid is better than AD is because you have longer range. Your Q has longer range. So yeah, we are going to go back here, do some damage. I'm going to run back because I know I'm low, but my ult already came back up, so I'm going to fire it down there, hit the Orianna, and hit the Trundle. Not much I can do. I'm low on pretty much everything. I'm going to keep spamming my Q and landing it to try and get my ult back down. I do return here, go back and pick up some items. Pick up a Phage, 2 Sight Wards, and my Sheep. Draven killing the Kayle with his brother. Now, one thing I really love about the Sheen is the Sheen procs every time with your Q. So, after you, well, is that the end of that team fight? No, Trundle's still there. Trundle's actually just going to keep running through his turret, but really there's no reason to even stay there anymore. The Draven does disconnect, but the Ezreal going to throw his ulti in there, miss everyone, but he's going to continue to go after the Vlad, gonna kill the Vlad. Our Draven is going to go after the Ezreal, knocking him toward Gragas. Gragas is gonna have an easy time picking him up with, I think, his ultimate activated. No? I don't know Gragas. I've never played Gragas. Now, one thing I love about Sheen is that this, yet again, says applies on hit effects. So you're going to see me use my Sheen, and then my next basic attack, I'll either use the Mystic Shot again to do even more damage, or well, actually, here's the thing. When I was using this, it's quite weird. So I'd use it, shoot. Well, it did the exact same damage as when I shot it without Sheen, and even when I shot it with Sheen. So it would use a Sheen charge either way. Maybe it was invisible damage that I couldn't see through the pop-up. Not sure. But another cool thing about what they just did while they implemented Ez is they fixed the font. They almost legitimately fixed it. It looks good no matter what. As you can see right down here. I'm going to launch my ultimate down here and Wonder Shot. I killed a Wraith though. I killed something. But this Kale's going to go after me. I'm going to flash away, and I don't even know what she's doing here. I'm going to land some basics. She's going to use her ult. My flash is going to be up. I'm going to flash over the wall, land my slow so she can't turn on me. That's going to give me a couple extra seconds. So she's going to run away. I'm going to land 2 basics and pick her up with Mystic Shot. Now it's time to return and pick me up some more items. No? No, I actually do farm. Another good reason to get these 2 Dorans is because 15% lifesteal is very good. Especially on a champion that has a basic attack that does get buffed over time. Now, back to mid, we have Vladimir. We have a 4-on-1 scenario. I think I launched my ultimate down here. There we are. And do I actually hit anyone? I was curious. Yes, I hit 3 of them. Trundle, Riven, and Orianna, which forces them all back. The Ez decides to stay and be a hero. Not his brightest idea because it's a Gragas. You don't want to stay there by yourself with a Gragas. Vlad ultimate going in, but he does manage to kill the Ez, or the Ez manages to kill him. And yeah, so now I'm mid actually going to push the I see jungle because of the minimap for some reason. I do go into the jungle trying to reach level 16 so I can get the flying animation, which looks kind of cool. For the people that stipulate that it is his dash, it is not. Here's a small altercation between the 2 teams. I don't think there's any real kills, it's just damage. I do go after the Orianna in the bush, but I do give up. Didn't realize I hit her until I look at my stacks and there were 1 more. So I should have went in earlier. She already is happily up by their turret. But the Kale does come up and starts going after the Draven by the look of it. So I do get my flying animation at this level. For those people who think that it's actually my E, it is not. You'll still see me using my E. It is just a walking animation. Kind of like when Wukong gets on his 3 hands and, well, whatever, how Wukong starts changing his running while he's in the animation, or Swain kicks up dust with his cane. So this Trundle is going to put us on a wild goose chase throughout our own jungle, while the Orianna, I don't know what she was doing. Oh, she was pushing back Gragas with what looks like Kale. I'm going to flash over, and we're going to have this Trundle to deal with. I'm going to start going in there, letting some basics. Shouldn't have wasted that, although the Draven does get out, then gets picked up by the ulti, which really sucks. I'm going to waste my ulti right here and pick up, well, about not 200 gold, a little less. So I'm going to go back to farming so I can get to level 18 first. The Ez ultimate does come in, but we are going to see nothing really in the mid. There's just some really pointless picks and poking. Vlad actually gets bored and goes down to raid camp trying to heal. I'm going to come back and do some damage to the enemy team. Playing very aggressively. There's the flying animation for all who care. I'm going to make sure that they can get away. I'm going to hammer the Trundle on the way out. So many champions. Okay. Throwing my ultimate in one more time. Not sure if I hit anyone on that one. But I do fly over to blue buff so I can spam more during team fights. Because one thing about Hybrid Ez is, yeah, he's really mana reliant. So we have Gragas, by the look of it, full. Well, okay. Going to go back in after the Kale and the Ezreal, but then Riven appears, and I'm pretty sure he backs out. Yeah, he doesn't go in. I'm actually running through their jungle right now, going and telling the Gragas that I want to go and get Dragon, because more gold and more experience for the team. He's not there. I don't know why I fired my Q off. Maybe I was angry. I don't know. So I think I do head back to top around this time. Yes I do. But we do have mid, so I actually do go back to mid to help with the team fight. I am going to speed up a lot more of this footage, guys, because I don't have enough disk space currently for a 50-minute video. Although Trundle does go in, kill the Draven. Now I'm on the retreat. I'm going to launch a couple skills at the Trundle, but he is healing up quicker than I can hurt him. What is this, Rabbit Bite? Yeah. He's actually going to go in and tower dive for some reason, but no matter. The Orianna's now close. I'm going to land a basic. Well, basic. My Q. And we're going to pick up a double kill, and we're going to now push the mid. I'm going to lock the camera on Ez and speed it up a little bit, because I need to speed this up. I have maybe 15 minutes left of the disk space, so the Vladimir's asking me to fly, and I'm actually wasting time here. Or do I explain it? No, I don't. Okay. The Kale did leave at this point, and this is pretty much just a delaying the inevitable for the enemy team. The Trundle and the Ezreal and the Orianna are the only real threats. This Riven doesn't know how to play Riven. She attempts to do good, but she does fail at almost all board. So I throw my ulti in, they're trying to kill her, but the Draven ulti comes in, kills her, and the Riven comes back through this pillar of filth. Not much to say there. I am level 18 at this point. Going to spam as much as possible at them. Gonna stand next to those guys, give them a little bit of the clarity. Now we're gonna turn on the Trundle. That doesn't do much. We just really want to get this turret down, and every time we do it, they always take our minions. Although I do throw my ulti in there, we are going to rip through the Orianna. I pick her up with my Q, and now we have the Ez to deal with. This Ez running pure AD at this point. I didn't even run over his build yet. I do go and steal their blue, and while I'm doing that, let's just look at some builds. Draven does die because he stayed too long. Yeah, he just picked up his Infinity Edge, nothing else, so he's still bad. He has more kills than me, but I haven't been shut down yet. I'm still 6-0-3, which I'm happy about. Throwing my ultimate down there, hitting... I think I would hit the Orianna. Yeah, I hit the Orianna and the Ez. Yeah, their builds are pretty much standard. Except mine. Mine's the only one that's kind of weird. Mostly because it's hybrid, so yeah. So we pretty much are just going after the mid turret right now. Gonna keep using my W to boost my team's attack speed. Throw my ultimate through that. Gonna have a 1v1 with this Ez. This Ez is going to do some damage to me. We are gonna be able to pick up the Riven, but the Riven is gonna kill the Gragas with Ignite. I don't know what I do here. I think I do return. And I do pick up my Hextech Gunblade. This is mostly for stopping fleeing opponents, since I do not have any real slows besides Phage. And that has a 30% chance, I want to say? 25. So I'm going to go in there, be a little cocky, and get caught. But I'm going to throw my ultimate through there. Just gonna get CC'd the crap out by the Orianna, pulling us in, slowing us, doing so much damage. Took him about 36 minutes to finally shut me down. That was the... yeah, I was the only one with one death at the time. Now I'm gonna make a couple mistakes this gameplay, as... oh wait, the camera's not gonna lock. They are at Baron right now. What was that? It's weird. Oh, it was her ball. I threw my ultimate through Baron as well, as my team is there, so the two Executioner brothers are going to take Baron for us, which is really nice of them. While I'm over here farming up I'm purposely spamming my Q so that the True Shot Barrage comes off a cooldown quicker. But, and I also for all this gold. So, now we're at the point of the game where it's just, when is it a good time to actually end this? I do ping the dragon because I do see the Riven walk that way, and it's already gone because the Riven already took it. And by that I mean I think it was the Trundle. Now we do have a small altercation over here with the Ez picking up our Vladimir, but the Orianna getting a double kill with her ultimate. I'm going to make sure the Gragas and I get away safely because we are the most, well, not fed, but we are the most, well, we are fed and we have the most CS. I do return, leaving him out there by himself. I'm going to pick up a Negatron Cloak and a Ruby Crystal for just a little bit more sustain, because that Orianna is really what's doing most of the damage to me. Because once Ez starts scaling on his defense, he doesn't really need any more. Going through here to pick this up. It is stolen from me by the Gragas, but I'm going to let that happen because he is very mana hungry. We are going to go through this team fight, pick up the Ez. Now we're going to go after the Orianna, and she's going to get away, which really sucks. But we don't really care because we are going after their inhibitor at this point, which is the best part of this game, which is when we actually finally get a break. Now, the stupid mistake I make is after we pick up the Orianna here and the Riven, this Gragas getting more and more fed. I didn't even notice at the time, but Draven goes through and checks for the red buff. And, no, never mind, this is a few minutes before that. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to preemptively call things out. So this Ez is now actually forced to farm mid. Let's see. He does not pick any crits up besides the crits that he gets from the Zeal in the Trinity Force. Now right here, I'm gonna go in here and check for the blue buff, not knowing that there was an Ezreal here and a Trundle over here just taking it. So I actually do rage and sell my Dorans for Sight Wards. Yep, I sold my Dorans for Sight Wards. We do pick up an easy kill with the Trundle, and the Orianna is actually trying to push back her lanes so that we can't take a turret. Now, one reason that we should have shut down the Ezreal a little bit earlier, we don't focus him in team fights. We actually focus the Trundle and more people on their team. And also, they have higher levels than us, but our Draven and our Vlad were actually missing through half the game. I'm going to throw a ward in there. I am pretty much rage warding at this point. We do pick up an easy kill. I put a ward here, here, and here, so I actually know where stuff is. So, okay, fail flash on my part. You can rewind the video and watch that. I try getting here to flash over the wall, and he, since he did build AD, does have an upper hand on me because I don't have the actual damage per second that he does. I have the damage, well, I have burst. He's got damage over time. Throwing his ulti, I don't know what he's aiming for. Really. Yeah, he Wondershot Ezreal right there. He keeps checking the bushes, which I was actually watching at this point, and I kind of laughed a little bit. We are coming up to the end of this recording, hitting the 34-minute mark on the recording, when I actually only have about 7 minutes left on my hard drive to keep recording, so let's continue this. The Vlad does die to the Rabid Bite of the Trundle, and I'm going to throw my ultimate through there because they are all at Baron yet again. Now the Draven ulti comes in. They are really low at this point, so it does force them to return. So you can actually see all three of them going back. But the Ez gets shut down by the Draven. So I do leave the... I'm not sure. I think I stay mid. Yes, I do. I'm staying mid this whole time to try and keep the enemy at bay. Now they know we're at Baron. This is why I kind of stay here and I keep firing my abilities through here, hitting Trundle 2 times. Me and this Vlad just kind of staying in this general area. We do pick up Baron. He pulls the Orianna through the wall and just completely destroys her. I actually kind of chaos that with my Q. Now I'm going to flash over the wall. Not my brightest idea, but still. Throw my ulti and miss both of them. I figured they were going to follow the wall all the way up. But that's none of the matter. As for my build, I finished my Banshee's build and I picked up a Chain Vest. This is about the time I was building my Randuin's, because a Randuin's on Ez is really good for escape. Now, their Glass Cannon of an Ez is still having some issues killing us because his abilities don't do anything. He has to get close range to actually start hurting us. We do take a mid turret. I hit the Ez for quite a bit, and I just keep trying to get ground on him and kind of hurt him. We do lose top turret due to minions. My Q or my E wasn't okay. Let's say all of them but my R. My ult wasn't up at the time, so I really couldn't actually do that. Okay, so that's interesting. I did buy doors. Maybe I did buy through the store like that. Anyway, where am I during this? I'm right here. Okay. So we are going to see a small team fight occur in a few seconds because 4 of us are here and Draven's out there doing whatever Draven's doing. Throwing my True Shot Barrage, taking a nice chunk of everyone's health. The Trundle getting pulled in, getting hit with Emurges, whatever it's called. I can't remember. And I just realized it shares the same icon as Darius's bleed. Or maybe it didn't, I don't know. Maybe it was a glitch. They're all returning now at this point. I actually thought it was a great idea to return because they're all going to be full and we're going to be low on mana, health, all that. Gragas going to be able to self-sustain here. Me without a blue buff, but I do have clarity. But I do think it's a great idea to return. And another reason I actually do build the Hextech Gunblade is because this and this will count as spells. So you do get the spell vamp from that. This one doesn't really count because of how low it is, but yeah, True Shot Barrage doesn't count as either, but it just helps. This is also a really good escape tool, so you can flash over a wall, and if the enemy flashes with you, you just activate, you just throw it at them, and it stunts them. So I do now have my Warden's Mail, which gives me the armor. I didn't go for the health, I went for the armor, because I was taking quite a bit of damage from basic attacks, hence this Ezreal, who now has 2 Bloodthirsters built, one at half stacks, one at full stacks, which means he still is farming them up. I do think they farm separately, I'm not sure if they farm together or separate. So, yeah. Now we are going to actually go and, I think I take Dragon, or no, Trundle Pillar of Filth, yep. And it's going to be gone, but right here we're going to have us pick up 2 more kills, but it's kind of funny how it happens. So Ezreal is going to dash and go down because he doesn't figure we're here. The Gragas comes in, doesn't want that. The Riven's already pretty much dead. Now the Gragas is going to throw his ultimate at the Ez. The Ez isn't going to be able to do anything. He does flash over the wall, take the long way through here, and we are all going to collapse on him. The Draven does flash, or the Darius flashes, but the Draven gets the kill using his speed buff. And now we are going to go after the Orianna and pick up a free turret because she doesn't want to defend it, apparently. There's not much to really talk about here. I mean, we are just going to be going through and destroying them. It's just completely one-sided at this point. The Draven ripping through both turrets rather quickly. I do actually think this is where we do take the Nexus. Yes it is. So, if you enjoy the content provided, leave a like. If you want to stay current, subscribe, and I will talk to you all later.
You look like someone who's got a lot going on beneath.